Hey guys, welcome back to another Creative Shock video. I'm doing a deck tech for you guys today. I haven't done one for a while. I'm bringing the water diner that I've been kind of playing and working on a little bit over the last few days. Because I know that a lot of you guys are very excited to get your hands on a water diner deck that can be competitive. I have been playing this and been testing it. There's some ups and downs, which I'll go over as well. Alright, so let's get into it. So obviously Spirit of Water. We can't afford to go like a Serene Spirit because we have so much water cards. We also can't afford to really go Fortuitous Water because we need to try our best to distance ourselves before we go to level 1. The main line for I think every water diner deck will be level 1, response to level 1, Distant Maker, or otherwise it'd be like end step of their turn, Distant Maker into level 1. That is why you'll see later on we have put a lot of distant cards in the deck. The way this deck kind of plays is it's more of a mid-range than like a late game deck. You kind of build a lot of pressure early and then you go into level 3 at the end to kind of finish your opponent off with what you like, with like your power at the end. So yeah, level 1 Diana obviously, level 2 Diana on enter. Load up to 2 Aether Charge cards from your hand and or memory into an Aether Wing weapon you control. With this, it doesn't say activate, load up to 2 Aether Charge cards, so you can be any element you want. I'm mainly trying to put Astra Aether Charges in at level 2 on enter. So like I'll have 2 float in the bin from like my Aqua Mirage, we'll get to that, and I'll have like 2 Astra arrows in my memory. And what I'll do is I'll level up, I'll double load the Astra in, I'll draw 2 into memory, and then my shot this turn is going for like 7, 8, 9, whatever it is. Let me glimpse and set up my level 3 turn the following turn. We obviously then go into level 3. Level 3 gives us the option to obviously start Aether Calling stuff with our glimpses. The whole thing here is kind of cool. I don't really get to use it as much. I kind of, in this point when you're level 3, you're kind of in the driver's seat. So you are using the glimpse 2 more often than you're using this other effect. For example, if you're not distant, you'll go distant in their turn, you'll glimpse and you'll try and load more arrows. Backup charger, everyone loves it. It's a great thing to have. We go back up over Tengu because we do have fracturizers. We can +1 off it. Grand Crusader's Ring. There is an option to go Looking Glass and run some like Cheshire Cat, Ranger Strides combos. But that's a different deck. That's like more of a aggro to the ground. Doesn't go to level 3, maybe level 2 max. You're going Ranger Strides, Cheshire Cat, distant, but pop on like a Mad Hatter or on like a ranged ally of some sort, even yourself. So we go Grand Crusader's Ring. We want to keep our influence high. Ranger Boots. So Ranger Boots is not a great card. I'm actually not a big fan of this card. It's okay. But it's something that kind of, I guess, guarantees us to be able to continue our game plan. Obviously, you can have bad draws, you can have bad starts where you don't find distant enablers, and then you're kind of stuck as a spirit trying to draw into a distant enabler. If that first turn you don't find a distant enabler, I think the first card you bring out is this, just so you can go the following turn to level 1, pop this, make yourself distant. And I think this is what this card was actually made for, is to make sure that Diana is not just pure RNG trying to find a distant enabler. Tithe Proclamation. This card has been doing work in the current building meta. There's a lot of Rile decks, there's a lot of Crux decks, there's a lot of draw decks, there's a lot of draw decks. This has been great, very strong. Very good to bring out early because you're never really drawing cards and your opponents normally are. And it's very hard to get rid of. We have the Aqua Mirage. So Aqua Mirage, this is the bread and butter, this is the bow of the century pretty much at the end of the day. This Aether Wing has Spell Shroud, so it can't be hit by spells. On hit, glimpse 1 plus X, where X is the amount of damage dealt by this hit, then put the top card of your deck into your graveyard. So this thing is very strong. If this thing doesn't get interacted with, Aqua Mirage can kind of carry the game for you. The first time you're going distant, leveling up and getting this out, you're shooting for 3 or 4. So you get to glimpse for 5, and then you get to mill a card. So, you know, back in the day, Tide Diviner used to be a really strong card. Tide Diviner used to let you look at cards and mill a card. It used to be like a $15 card. This is letting you do it every turn for free, and everything you're loading in can be flow, it can be whatever. That level 2 turn, where you're putting those 2 Astra cards in, you're glimpsing like anywhere from 7 to 9 cards. So being able to glimpse 7 to 9 cards to prepare for your level 3 turn is insane. Like you can set up like Astra into like a guided spell, a sideboard spell shot. You can set up like so many things off this. The main thing, and the thing that people need to understand, is that this is weak to Unbroken Mustang. This is weak to Verucan Acolyte, and there are a lot of those cards currently running around. Not for this card, but for Censor. So we are running Mana's Cascade as well. Into like a fire deck or into a deck that you've seen Unbroken Mustang. I am actually bringing Mana's Cascade out turn 2, not Aqua Mirage. Having your Aqua Mirage broken on that turn 2 or their turn 2, then go into your turn 3 is miserable. It's not a good experience. It's very hard to come back. We could potentially run an extra Aether Wing and have 3 Aether Wings, but the material deck is quite tight. But sometimes it's just not worth it. You just get the Mana Cascade out instead, and you start building some like push. And then if you want to bring out the Aqua Mirage out the following turn, you probably have some more space because you've managed to even at least get a shot off, get some Aether charges into the bin that are floating, etc. And then you can start picking on what you want to do. And then we're running the Cosmic Astroscope because Cosmic Astroscope is a great card. The class bonus is only for the Glimpse. You get the Glimpse 3 every turn. Amazing card, lets you Star Call, lets you Aether Call, whatever you need to do. Matt deck can maybe have some work. We could put like a Astra Aether Wing in here. I just it could be in the Tithe Proclamation spot. You could probably take that as a flex spot out. But for now, this is kind of work because it is like mid-range to the ground. I'm not really going to 3 and bringing a Astra Bow out. I'm kind of going to 3 to kill them that turn. Alright, cool. Going into the main deck, we have Etheric Calibration. This card is great early game. This card is great late game. It lets you Glimpse 4, then reveal top card of your deck. If it's an Aether charge, you get to put it into memory, so it is a +0. Then you get to load it, so it's 1 damage as well. Late game, this lets you Aether Call, this lets you Glimpse 4 and set up your turn. Mid game, this lets you set up like things you want to mill or things you want to kind of get rid of that you don't want to mill or see in your next Glimpse. 4 of, amazing card. Illustrious Huntress, this is a very strong card we can kind of control the board with. We only have a few allies, not many allies in this deck, but this one is very strong because we are able to 3 cost 2/2, range 2. On enter, reveal up to 1 Aether charge card from your hand. You may discard it or load it into an Aether Wing weapon you control. If you do, draw a card. So this is like its own hasty messenger. You're able to, once again, it doesn't say activate, so you can load Astra Aether charges into your bow early, like turn 2. Also gets to draw a card. If you discard a float or you load a float and then you draw a card, it's becoming a +0, which is great. You always want that. It's also something that your opponent doesn't want to sit on the board because it can swing for 4 if necessary. Going in, we've got 2 backsteps. We do have a lot of distant enablers in here. Backstep can probably, if we feel like there's too many distant enablers, this might be one of the first ones to go out. But for now, we have it just to make sure we see those distant enablers on that first turn. Going to Charge the Soul, this card is crazy. You get to deal 1 to anything at fast speed, so you can kill the Rokokos, you can kill the Blazing Bowmans, you can kill so many things, it's not just face. And then you get to load it and deal 1, and then it's float. So this thing is very overstated. We don't really have anything else like this. We have Ignite the Soul. Ignite the Soul was a 1-cost class bonus mage float, deal 1. This is a deal 2 class bonus float, which is obviously it's even stronger. So amazing card, 4 of, a very good card. Going into Liminal Guide. Now, this would be a controversial pick. The deck is not running Dungeon Guides currently. We have felt like we do not need Dungeon Guides. There is so much float. You have the Broken Weaving Mana Stream we'll get to when we see it. Liminal Guide has kind of given us more board presence and also gives us that draw to kind of bring back, we get to +1 off the Weaving Mana Stream if we were to Liminal Guide. So like the Aqua Mirage, if we're seeing a Liminal Guide every mill, which we're not, but if we are, it's becoming even more value. Because the Weaving Mana Stream is already a float that we have, so we're already like flooded on a float. So Liminal Guide, this could easily be 3 Dungeon Guides. So if you don't have Liminal Guides, this could be a Dungeon Guide slot. It doesn't change too much. It might make the deck a little bit more level 3 focused. But for now, this is here just to kind of give you a card and let you fight the board more. Because you don't want to have Star Wars Shieldmates and stuff in your face, obviously. 4 repositions, target distant, flow memory, very basic. Another distant enable we want to kind of find for our allies and our Diana. 3 fracturize, great to have. We still want to fracturize people's stuff. We probably still want to fracturize people's sensors, because sensor kind of hurts this deck a little bit as well. Fracturizing our own power cells is a +1, which is great. It's always good to have a fracturizer in hand for stuff. Crystalline Archer, this is the bread and butter of Water Diana. This has always been a powerhouse in old Water Diana allies and stuff as well. It is a Frostmourne Paladin, but the opposite, so to speak. Instead of a 3/4 intercept, this thing swings for 4 and draws a card. The benefit of this is that every turn you get to draw a card as long as it lives. So if you keep this thing alive and you have float to go, then you can keep swinging for 4. This is a high threat. It becomes pretty much a taunt because they're going to kill it or try and kill it no matter what. So this card is the bread and butter and does a lot of your actual damage more than anything. You can also set up an Aqua Mirage with like a Charge the Soul and Weaving Mana Stream or whatever. Shoot your Aqua Mirage, glimpse 8, see a float, put it on top, discard the float, play Crystalline, swing for 4, and your 7-8 damage turns turning into a 12 damage turn with a 2 cost, which is amazing. That's doing 12 damage with 2 costs because the bow costs nothing, which is great. We have 4 tactical retreats. This card is very important in Water Diana. It stops the big swings. It can stop stuff at mid-combat, wipe the combat board when people are swinging or doing stuff mid-combat. It gives distant and it's float, so it's like a Song of Frost but better for Diana, which is amazing. You can also tactical retreat your Crystalline Archers, your Huntresses when they try to kill them. Also very good at the moment, you can tactical retreat and hasty messenger on attack so they don't get their discard draw, which is amazing as well. Undercurrent Vantage, this is in the starter deck. This was pretty much one of the cards that was made to make sure that you don't kind of have all these distant makers in your deck that don't really do much other than make you distant. It is a way better distant maker than the ones we used to have, so we get to glimpse 3 and make ourselves distant. So early game it's great, you can set up turns. Late game, you can play this, glimpse 3, make yourself distant, glimpse 2, so you get to glimpse 5, and it's float. So very strong card, very good with Crystalline Archer as well. Very good obviously to set up and to Aether Core level 3. This is like the card you'll be looking for to probably play on your end step of turn 1 or their end step of turn 1. Weaving Mana Stream, this is the expensive card. This is the card that you kind of need a 4 of for this deck. It's a 2-cost water card, it is fast. Your champion becomes distant. So you play it to make yourself distant. You can't play it and load it. You can't make yourself distant and load it. You can only load it if, whenever this card is banished from your graveyard, to pay for a memory cost, you may load it into an Aether weapon you control, and it's float. Now, the reason why this thing is so powerful is that every time you pay for your Tithe, or pay for your Flash Grenade, or pay for your level up, if you have this in your memory, in your graveyard, you may pay a cost with it. It will then load into your bow. You'll then recollect and draw. You'll then shoot your bow. Then this will go back to your graveyard. And the next turn, you will be able to use it again for another float to make another material card along with your mill card that you got off your Aqua Mirage. So it's a permanent float. This may as well say, every time I'm used as a float, put me back in the graveyard. So if you get 2 or 3 of these in your graveyard, your whole mat deck is pretty much free. If you get 2 of these in, your level 1's free, your level 2's free, and your level 3 is costing 1. So the way to think of it is like a pseudo academy guide that can't be targeted. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be targeted, it can be censored, it can be hit in the graveyard, so to speak, but other than that, if that stuff isn't kind of happening, this thing will put you so far ahead, and it's the reason why you don't need dungeon guards, because you're going to end up dungeon guarding to 3 or 2, and you're going to have like 5 float and nothing to do with them now that Lost in Thought's gone. Which also makes sense why probably Lost in Thought is gone, because if Lost in Thought was in this deck, it would be insane. You'd DG to 3, Lost in Thought, pay 4, draw 4 cards, and then, you know, it's over pretty much at that point. So this card's really important. It's probably the strongest card in the deck, and the most important foundation in the deck is this card. Going into the Astra stuff, the Astra stuff, there's 2 different packages. There's the Meteoric Volley package, and then there's the Cosmic Vantage package. I've gone with the Meteoric Volley package. It is a lot more easier to get off and quicker. Cosmic Vantage lets you like reload everything and shoot again, where this lets you kind of finish it here and there. We'll go into Astra Sight first. Obviously, Astra Sight, it's a star call, glimpse one, then draw a card. Great card. You can set up Aether Calls, you can set up other star calls like double Astra Sight to draw more cards. Must have, very strong card. We've got Constellation's Blessing. This is probably the best Aether Charge spell, or one of the best. One cost, draw a card, and then load it. And you get to Aether Call this. So, like, pre-rec, paying 1 to draw a card with this, you're plus zeroing, you get free 2 damage, and you're kind of back where you were. So, this card is very strong and a 4 of. We have Guided Starlight. This card is quite important when you're versing people that have, like, what's it called? The 0-6 Frog Taunt or 0-4 Frog Taunt. That thing's really annoying. Our allies aren't kind of big enough to deal with it. Well, they are, but they're like hard to keep on board at times. So this card is really, if you can time this at the right time, you can just kill someone through all their blockers. If you get too many of them, you just load them. That's fine. Great card, really important. A way you can kind of steal wins pretty quickly. You can also pre-rec Guided Starlight. They can't pay 3, and then you go into the Meteoric Volley and kill them. This is like your finisher. This is like the real, I put 3 in. I had 2 in, and I was desperately trying to find it when I was playing, so I've gone up to 3. Activate this card only if your champion is attacking. For each Aether Charge card in the attacker's intent, create a copy of it in that attacker's intent. So if you have 6 arrows, and each one does 2 damage, so you got 12 damage in Aether Charges. If you Meteoric Volley, you'll double that damage. So I'll go to 24 damage. Your Aether Charges will double. Won't double your bow, won't double your range. Your bow will still be 1 or 2 or whatever. Your range will still be 2, but it will double your Aether Charge damage. So, you know, if you're holding this like 8, 10, 12, 14 damage bow, you're waiting patiently, you know, like you can't get through, they've got blockers, or they've got like, you know, it's a seal with 30 life or something. You know, you want to find this, you want to Guide Starlight pre-rec, recollect, shoot, Meteoric Volley, bang, you're doing like 20 to 30 damage and they just die instantly. Obviously you have to beware Song of Frost, Tactical Retreats, all are cards. It's also a situation where we can potentially fit the Chain Charge in here, although currently I'm not running it because it just felt like they always would have one anyway. Could try and fit Frostbinds too for the back steps, but I just feel like if you're able to Guide Starlight, then you're able to Meteoric Volley. Like if they can't pay 3, they're not gonna be able to Frostbind you anyway. You could also Guide Starlight, make them pay 3, Guide Starlight, they can't pay 3, and then kill them as well. So it's like, Guide Starlight's like a pseudo negate because you're making them pay to stop you from shooting them anyway. Although they can be smart and be like, I won't pay, and then you Meteoric Volley and then negate. So just gotta be careful. You kind of want to chip them down to a point where you don't need Meteoric Volley, but it can steal games very easily. Cool, we got Sideroll Spell Shot. This is a very strong, one of the really strong spells for Aether Charge. So X cost, Aether Calling, Glimpse X, then you may load Spell Shot into an Aether Calling weapon you control. So if you're ahead on influence, if you have managed to use your float and you've got 6 or 7 cards, sometimes you can just pay 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slam this down, free Glimpse, get your Star Calling, get your Aether Calling, obviously stay Aether Calling first before you Star Call. This thing is very strong. You prefer not to load this. Like if you do, you do. If you will, you will. If it's in your memory at level 2, you load it. If it's getting Aether Called, it's getting Aether Called. But if it's in your hand, you definitely want to play this one over the other ones, probably, other than the Constellation's Blessing. Because this one will get you more value. We are running like a heavy Astra package, like 4, 8, 11, 14, 18, 21 Astra, which is a large package, which is also why we're running like a backup charger and stuff to level up if need be. But like that just means that like if you pay 3 or 4 for one of these, you're going to get a lot of Aether Calling, and you're going to get like a big bow pretty quickly at level 3. Like on the turn, you pretty much level up. You can do this and load 3 or 4 arrows. So yeah, very strong, very good. Then the last Astra card we have currently is Vanishing Eclipse. This one is kind of a gotcha. People aren't ready for this card. It's not. Obviously, it's a new set, so no one's ready for any card, but this one is a 2 cost, Aether Calling, deal 2 fast. So the spell is return target ally to the top of its owner's deck, and then you become distant. So you're able to top deck, put a card on top of the deck that like they probably don't want to draw, like a Dungeon Guard's on the board, or like a Star Wars Shieldmate. You can Vanish and Eclipse it, put it on top of their deck. They're going to have to draw back into what they already had, which is quite frustrating. But the main thing here is your champion becomes distant. So you're able to do the glimpse too. If you're being attacked by something, you're able to, like, Vanishing Eclipse, like the red hair that's attacking next, go into it thing, do the Song of Frost Diana ability when you become distant, make them pay 2. You also, with this, if you really need to, I don't think you would have to do this, but you can save a Crystalline Archer, like send it back to the top of your deck, make yourself distant, and then, you know, on your turn, bring Crystalline Archer, play it again from the top of your deck, swing again for 4, draw a card, etc. So, very strong card, very tricky card. I couldn't fit 4 because our Astra count's really high here. We could potentially go down 1 on Mirror Valley again and put this back to 4. We could also put down like an Astrocite, because like Astrocite, I guess, just kind of making it further into your deck. But it's, you know, so far this has felt really good. Only matchup that's been kind of a struggle has been those ones where you get Unbroken Mustanged or get Verdugan Acolyted, and then the game 2 you have to bring out Manus Cascade. Manus Cascade obviously is a worse card compared to Aqua Mirage. If we were going Mana Cascade as our main Aether Wing, we should be running the Chain Charge and more water Aether Charges. So it's kind of there just to kind of be hit like by a Fracturize or something, or just have a bow so you can shoot instead of having your Aqua Mirage wrecked. You could go the Seeker's Aether Wing as well if you don't like this bow. This one can be replaced quite easily, although the Seeker's Aether Wing can also be broken. So with Manus Cascade, potentially we do need to try and find space for the Chain Charge and the Drowning Aethers. But it's just obviously like that's a work in progress. So far it has felt good when you're not having your bows interacted with too much. Alright, going to sideboard. The current sideboard is pretty straightforward. We have a Tariff Ring against allies, so we don't just get blown up straight away. We bring the Tariff Ring in with the Comet Fall. Comet Fall is actually a very surprising card and only costs 2 in the Star Core, which is quite achievable for Diana. You are able to very easily just get to 3 and then start Comet Falling and dealing 4 damage to everything but yourself. You know, this card overall will be doing 4, 8, 12, like at least 8 damage probably a game if you find 2, plus the shots and stuff. You normally can cheat some games out with Comet Fall. I have tried Cosmic Bolt. Cosmic Bolt was fun. It's just wasting space though. Like it's not kind of committing to the game plan that we're currently having. Drown Aether also for the ally matchup. Water Diana does struggle against the ally matchup a little bit because obviously you can't shoot 4 allies at once. There's no blast shot bow or anything like that. This you get to load in. You can kill an ally when it's attacking. Quite a strong card. You have Poised Occlusion, which is a 2-cost negate, but it is a 1 that lets you draw a card into your memory, so it's a +0. Obviously, it is a +0 for them. Technically, they get to send the card that gets negated back into their memory. But normally it's enough. Like if you Poised Occlusion that Rending Flames or that End Soul, normally that is enough to finish the game because they have nothing, or they've used their big attack. You've played this, you're now distant, you get to Glimpse 2, load Aether Callings, whatever you need to do, and then you're going to kind of clap back on your turn. And then we have Stellarian Shift. Stellarian Shift has felt really good. We are high on Astra counts currently. It's kind of hard to put in. Astrocite's the first flex Astra that kind of comes out for these cards. Target unit becomes distant, draw a card, so it is just a distant enabler, 2-cost fast. The cool thing about this one is you can pay 2 and banish it from your graveyard, and you gain stealth until the end of the turn, and you prevent the next 4 non-combat damage that will be dealt to them this turn. So your chain becomes stealth, and you can't be burst asunder, you can't be, you know, stratagem. So this card comes in against fractals, comes in against allies, comes in against you know, heavy attack damage, End Soul as well. It's a very, very strong card. I do think this is a good deck. I do think that obviously as the meta grows, it will become stronger and they will become better, more tightened. We could probably drop some Astra potentially, but a lot of these cards are kind of must-haves. Like you can't get rid of Weaving, Undercurrent. You need the distant enablers. You probably can get rid of Huntress potentially for some like Chain Charge, or some Drown Aethers can come in here. But she does feel really nice on the board when you play her and load something for your extra Glimpse. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing and mucking around with for the last few days. Hopefully you guys like videos like this, like deck techs. If you do want more, please let me know in the comments. Yeah, I'm happy to do this type of stuff, and I'm very, very transparent with with decks and, you know, what's fun and what's not fun and what's competitive and not competitive, and this is definitely a competitive deck. So cool. All right, well, thanks guys, appreciate it. I'll speak to you guys next time.